Who wouldn't want to see a van out there that's running 11s in the quarter mile, all-wheel drive, launching like crazy, and beating up on, you know, Mustangs and Camaros and Vets and whatnot? It would be really funny, and I'll tell you, a lot of happy dads would be out there. They would gladly be driving a Pacifica. All right, guys, so welcome back. Thank you for hanging out, spending a few moments here with me. If you're new, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Now, today is 4/26, so happy Hemi Day. For those of you that don't know, the reason why it's a Hemi Day is because of the legendary 7-liter 426. It absolutely dominated back in the 60s and the 70s, and so the 426 really has been a very celebrated Hemi. So with that being said, we're going to go over 5 Hemis that we would love to see in a trim or a model. And yeah, we'll kick off the list with number 5, and that would be a 2-door Charger Coupe, and basically a modern interpretation of the Charger that we used to see back in the late 60s and the 70s. It would be really interesting to see what Dodge would be able to come up with to kind of commemorate or celebrate the success that they had in the late 60s and 70s with the Charger. Maybe make it a RT with some kind of a 426. Obviously, we would love to see that, but it would be interesting nonetheless to see what they would be able to come up with. Obviously, it wouldn't be able to be mass produced because it would kind of dive into the Challenger sales, but some kind of a limited edition 2-door Charger Coupe, maybe even based off of what we see with the Challenger, but obviously a lot of the styling taken off of the Charger. Now, coming in at number 4 would be the Cuda, and this is something that was very popular, I'd say about 2 or 3 years ago, because Dodge took out a trademark, Cuda. And we've all been expecting some kind of a Cuda news, Cuda trim level or model or something Cuda. And really nothing has turned into it. Many believe that we're going to see some kind of a Cuda in, you know, the next phase of the Chargers and the Challengers, when they maybe introduce the next, you know, maybe inline 6 or the EV or something. And the speculation is that the Cuda was going to be a smaller version of the Challenger. So it would be really more of a competitor of the Camaro and the Mustang and such. But you know, we'll see. The trademark is there, they still have it, so maybe they are working on something in the future. Who really knows though, but we would love to see the Cuda come back in some form. Number 3 would be the Chrysler 300 Hellcat. And this is something that's huge, you know, in the YouTube world, and it's because a handful of YouTubers have taken a lot of the, you know, the Chrysler 300 base models or whatnot, and moved over a lot of the Charger Hellcat pieces to make a, you know, a 300 Hellcat. And I'll tell you, the aggressive styling of, and then you have that, you know, 700 plus horsepower 6.2 liter supercharged V8 Hemi under the hood, so the performance kind of matches that aggressive styling. So, you know, we would love to see Chrysler release some kind of an official 300 Hellcat, but for the meantime, I'll tell you, a lot of these YouTubers are doing a great job of building their own. And that has created quite a bit of hype around the Chrysler 300 Hellcat. Now, coming in at number 2 would be the Chrysler Hellcat Pacifica. This is something that has gained a lot of traction in the last couple of years because a couple of artists have created 3D renderings of what the Chrysler 300 would potentially look like. It looks mean, it looks cool, and it gets a lot of people excited. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a van out there that's running 11s in the quarter mile, all-wheel drive, launching like crazy, and beating up on, you know, Mustangs and Camaros and Vets and whatnot? It would be really funny, and I'll tell you, a lot of happy dads would be out there. They would gladly be driving a Pacifica. Now, the execution of it is a whole different story. It would have to be all-wheel drive, and you know, the front-wheel drive in the Pacifica is not going to be able to handle that kind of power. So, you know, the actual execution is a little bit trickier, but I'll tell you, the renderings and the idea is really, really awesome. So that leads to the old number one. What is the number one thing that everybody wants to see? And that's the Charger Ghoul. Hands down, every time that I bring up the Charger Ghoul, there's a ton of people that would love to see the 426 Hellephant crate engine work its way into a wide body Charger. And that's basically what the rumor is you know, the 1,000 horsepower crate engine goes into a Charger wide body. And you know, it would be, I don't even know how much they said it. I think it was like $200,000. And you know, I figured this video would be fitting because it is, you know, 426 today. But you know, I do believe that Dodge will come up with something crazy to commemorate the Hellcat and what it was capable of doing. But I don't believe that anything's going to officially happen with the Hellephant crate engine. I don't believe it's going to end up in a production vehicle. I don't think it'll pass any kind of emissions or anything like that. But that's still, you know, that's something that we could all dream about. I absolutely love the idea of a Ghoul. You know, obviously it was a April Fool's joke, and you know, hopefully there is some level of truth that we're all missing. But having a Hellephant crate engine in a Charger wide body would be the dream. You know, 1,000 horsepower, gorgeous looking Charger that can absolutely decimate the competition. Sounds unbelievable. But guys, let me know what you think of the list. Anything else that you would like to add? A couple of runner-up would be the Magnum bringing back. I mean, who wouldn't want to see, you know, a Charger wagon, you know, brought back as a, you know, a limited edition type of vehicle. You know, they could take the Charger, kind of make it like a wagon. I know there's a YouTuber that's creating a Charger wagon. So, you know, it can be done. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. There's a couple other, you know, vehicles out there that I thought would be cool for this list, but I feel like the 5 that I brought up were pretty solid. Either way, happy Hemi Day, guys. 426, it's always a good day. And for those of you that believe that Dodge and Mopar and FCA is going to be getting rid of the Hemi in favor of an inline turbo 6 and EVs, I think you're not being realistic. They learned their lesson in the 80s and the 90s, and they're gonna somehow figure out a way to keep that Hemi alive. So guys, if you haven't already, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the next upload.